Ever since Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri released in 1999, fans have longed for a new chance to head back to the stars, and Civilization Beyond Earth certainly looks like it fills that longing desire. In it, Earth is on a brink of collapse, and looks to the colonizing space for salvation. Players select from 8 sponsors, customize a couple of starting benefits, and choose a planet type. The race to become the dominant empire begins as soon as you land. Although the planet is divided into familiar hex grid, playing Beyond Earth is very different from Civilization 5. A number of key systems are changed over. The ground is covered in a toxic miasma that damages units, and instead of keeping an eye on happiness, players have to manage the population's health. Empire management also includes a number of quest events, which often involve newly implemented technologies. For example, a recently discovered biomaterial can be adapted toward making stronger materials or repurposed as a food source. One of the most prominent features is factional affinity. Players can spec into the specializations of Supremacy, Purity, or Harmony. Supremacy looks to a completely transhuman future through the use of cybernetics, computing, and genetic engineering. Harmony uses genetic engineering to adapt humanity to its new alien environment. And Purity, in stark contrast to the other two, seeks to preserve humanity as is, and seeks to tame the land to suit its needs. Factions with opposing affinities are more likely to be distrustful, while those with the same are more likely to be agreeable and cooperative. Beyond Earth's new features should build up to a great and exciting new experience, but somehow it falls short. The faults start small, then grow by degrees as the game progresses. Let's start with the indigenous alien lifeforms. The barbarians from the traditional Civilization games are replaced by alien creatures that, for the most part, will leave players alone, unless they happen upon a tasty explorer. There's no peaceful way to move aliens, other than to park a military unit next to a group of them in hopes that they'll attack it and perish in battle. After spending a dozen turns defending your cities, other factions will start to frown upon your wanton destruction of the local alien life. Beyond Earth's biggest problem is tied to its very heart and soul, the technology web and victory conditions. Instead of a traditional tree, as seen in previous Civilization games, Beyond Earth features a web of multiple connections and sub-technologies. In one sense, it's good, in that it offers an unprecedented sense of flexibility towards scientific development. The problem is, unless you really take time to memorize what each technology innovation does, it can be very easy to be confused by it. Deciding between the merits of nanotechnology, genetic engineering, or quantum hypercomputing simply isn't as straightforward as trying to invent the wheel, discovering gunpowder, or electricity. The key to success is to decide on an affinity early on and run with it, but this also leads to problems. Previous Civ games made it relatively easy to switch victory conditions mid-game. If you happen to be sitting on a ton of cash, you could decide on an economic victory, and switching priorities is not a problem. In Beyond Earth, all but 2 victory conditions, domination and contrast, are tied to affinities. This approach seriously cuts down the sense of flexibility, because researching technology that don't contribute to your affinity gives a rival faction time to pull ahead. Not only should you decide on an affinity to pursue at the start of the game, you should decide on a victory path early on too. The diplomatic overview also keeps a running record of past deals, and issues that may impact negotiations, like whether or not they've denounced you for killing the native wildlife 400 turns ago. What's really missing is the ability to trade technology. And although the diplomacy menu remarks on factions that are working together, we couldn't find negative relations listed. Civilization Beyond Earth takes some getting used to, even by longtime Civ fans. Although the game has more than a fair share of quirks, it has the potential to become a much better game. While the affinity system lacks the kind of personality and flexibility that other Civ games have, it is an interesting twist. And the technology web makes for more indecision than a straightforward tech tree. Despite its faults, Civilization Beyond Earth does take you to a distant world where you'll find exotic alien life, meet future leaders of mankind, and kill them all. We here at Shacknews give Civilization Beyond Earth a 7 out of 10. For the in-depth review of Civilization Beyond Earth and for all your video game needs, be sure to head over to shacknews.com.